So good morning to everybody who's joined us today for this very, very special day at the Stephen Perse Foundation. Sustainability is something that we as a foundation of schools are really passionate about. And as someone who's actually in the middle of a course about it at the moment, I'm particularly pleased to be meeting with people who are actually doing the stuff that I'm reading about. And we've got this amazing group of people who have joined us from Kenya, and they're growing tea, among other things. And they're here with the people who are supporting them on this journey, and no doubt we'll hear from them as well during the course of this conversation. But less about me. The people I want to ask questions of you this morning are the students who are going to be our future leaders, and as future leaders they need to understand what the challenges are, and they need to learn from you what you are doing to grow leaders in your communities as well. So without any more ado, I'll hand you over to Scarlett and Savannah.
Could you give us an idea of what the TIST program is and what it does?
Thank you. My name is Dorothy Naitore from Kenya. I joined TIST 2005, and I'm pleased because TIST came and given women opportunity, and because I was one of the women who was oppressed, because I was grown in a poor background. I was married to a poor background, and when TIST came, introduced women to participate equally with men, so I became excited. TIST means the International Small Groups and Tree Planting Program, and it is a program which is doing tree growing and leadership growing. It gives opportunity to both women, men and youth.
Why did you personally get involved, and how has this impacted you and others in your community?
Thank you. I personally get engaged in TIST because I saw a lot of opportunities for women, and I was a woman because in my area I saw the forest being deforested, and we could go like 5 kilometers a day to get food because we cannot access gases like our people, like in this country does. So our women used to be going like 3 times in the forest and using 5 hours to go there to get the food. And now we started getting training to support ourselves and also to support the neighbors and also to support the whole universe. That is why I was very interested in joining that, because I saw the opportunity of a poor woman or a local woman like me who has been given a lot of training skills. I've supported myself even buying a piece of land on my own, which is not normal in Kenya, because our culture in Kenya gives opportunity to men more than women. And now I have my own farm, 2-acre land. And other women, when we go out, because TIST is farmer to farmer training, when they get to know I am a woman, I am my family, and I'm doing for it, they get excited, and also they are following the steps and joining the program so that they can benefit themselves as I did, and also give the one to neighbors so that we can grow together.
Personally, my name is Meli from Kenya. Personally, I enjoy the TIST because when I see my people, they are not getting enough food, I joined the TIST so that you can plant a lot of crops. And planting a lot of crops, one of them was tree, so that you can change the nutrients from the students and the young siblings that we have in our families. And the other thing that make me to join the TIST, I have cows, and these cows in the dry seasons, they don't have something to eat. So we grew a lot of crops so that they can get the fodder crops for them to eat. And even the climate there is changing. We can change the climate through planting these trees, because at first we can't know at first we knew the season, the pattern seasons of our country, but now it has changed because of the cutting of trees. And now we are trying to bring our country, Kenya, back where it was through planting these trees.
To me, my name is Patricia. And when I joined TIST, we had challenges, and we were in a certain small group of women, like 9 women, and I was so much interested because, like, in our area is semi-arid, so we had to work hard to feed our children, and also there was a lot of wind, there was drought, we had no enough rainfall in our area, and when we go to the training, we joined TIST. We started the TIST trainings, of which they have helped us so much in training on how we can feed our families, and also how we can get fodder from our cows, and how we can try to uplift our livelihood. And we started the activities and trainings, and after that, to me, I can say that it has helped me so much, because even to pay for our school fees of the children has helped, and also to help our families, and also to get food from our farms. And that's when I got interested, because of the activities that we are doing.
My names are John Mwangi, a TIST farmer. My TIST now, my small group number is 2018 KE 496. If you go to website, you can get me my name there. You can see my trees which I've planted. Now I joined TIST in 2017. That is about 2 years ago. When in my area, I'm from tea growing area, and we are near the forest. The government had closed the forest from cutting trees. Even now in Kenya, there is no cutting of trees for the last 2-3 years, because they had cut all almost every some areas they had cut almost all the trees. Now the tea, which is being withered during the process of making tea, that is withered by using steam, which is from the firewood. So when the forest was closed, the people from the factories who are selling firewood to the factories came to buy the trees which are on the tea, and the tea covers almost every area. So there are some very small areas where the trees are planted. So now, when I joined, my reason to join TIST is this. I was holding a meeting with some area administrators, when we had a chance to meet the lady between near me, she is called Patricia, who I heard talking about how all the benefits of TIST, that it is about carbon credit. Now, when I heard about there is something that I can plant a tree in my shamba and be paid something, and I'm not going forced to cut or to retain it when I am not. Whatever I want to do with it, I can do with it, and it is free to enter, and it is free to get out, as it is free to enter. Now, I was advocating about planting trees in our area. Those are avocado trees, because they are more beneficial in our area, because we can sell firewood from it. You can cut it, and you can sell fruits. Even it is good for fodder for livestock, cows and goats and whichever. Now, when I had I will be getting something from them, so it came to boost my advocacy about planting those trees. So I automatically joined TIST and followed TIST up to now, and I'm going to mobilize as many people as I can to go on with the TIST. Yes.
Yes, my name is Faxad Kimani. I joined TIST in the year 2005. There before I was doing some environmental activities. I had a nursery, a seed bank, and I also had biodiversity clubs in schools. So when I heard of TIST, it came to complement my efforts, especially because we had what we call the conservation farming, which is a good way, having come from a Naso area, an arid and semi-arid land, where the annual rainfall is between 700 to 800 million tons per annum. So, and also is also erratic. It's not actually over time. It takes time. So actually, that's why I joined TIST. So it also had the other benefits of the creating of the leadership, because in the conventional way we are used to chairman, secretary, and the treasurer, and here was a program talking of rotational leadership, and that's why I thought it was good to join TIST, because it really showed it created leaders, and also for the fact of even the stoves where they actually use, where TIST stoves, one of the best developed stoves that actually use minimal fuel wood. And mostly in Kenya, what we normally use, mostly the highest percentage of the people use the fuel wood because the LPGs are not accessible and they're expensive. Yeah.
The TIST website describes how farmers can make money from carbon credits. Could you explain how these work and the impact of them?
Yeah, actually, TIST, one of the biggest activity we are doing is the selling of the carbon credits. And when we talk of packaging the carbon credits, we are selling something you can't see, something you can't touch, something you can't smell, something you can't listen to. Actually, something that doesn't fall in all the five senses, seriously. So, what we actually selling is data, and is data of integrity. So we have to make sure that whatever we are offering to the customer or to the client is something that be data of beyond reproach, is data of integrity. So when we are packaging, we are using the way that we correct the GPS coordinates where the trees are planted. That's what we call the grove. We track where that grove is, so we walk around the perimeter of where the trees are planted. We take pictures of the trees or the grove, and when we talk of the grove, we are talking of the area where the trees are planted. We give a description of exactly how the place looked before TIST showed up. That's what we call the grove and the tree baseline, so that we can be able to show that through the TIST effort, we've been able to prove that through the TIST trainings and the farmers planting trees, there is a proof of additionality, which is one of the things that actually you do in a carbon project. And then from there, we key in that data into a pump-based system. It's a small gadget that you have to walk through it's in fact smartphone at this particular time. We key in that data and then synchronize the information to the website, to the server. It gets to the server is actually processed and it gets to the website in real time, and that's what we sell. However, we also use the same technology even to do the trainings, where we have what we call the mobile web training. We have the mobile website where we put our training topics. It is there, www.tist.mobile. You can be able to access our information there. So the trainings, you can be able to do that. The website also has the ability even to do the action plans. So it's also possible as a tool of planning the work that we do. And in the website, you can be able to show virtually is an office. The website is virtually an office that you can be able to have on the information.
Also in the same question, I can say that in TIST, because we are working with the local farmers or even people who doesn't know how to read or write, we have been able as TIST to tailor-made our trainings by using simple questions and languages that person who is participating can understand. Instead of talking of carbon credit or those terminologies which they can not understand, we have developed a local name called Ewa Taka. That is like bad air, so that they can understand. And actually doing that business, we have made it very easy for people to understand, because we use examples like kitchen. When you have built your kitchen, it is green, and the more you start using the smoke, it becomes dark and dark. And we explain to them that is what is exactly happening to our ozone, and that is what is causing the unpredicted seasons. So the old woman, the old man, the young people start looking at that. And the first step is getting farmers organized, 6 to 12 members, and then from there we organize them in a cluster where like 200 to 500 members come together within a walking distance, because this carbon trading needs a lot of training so that people can make their own decision. This is voluntary. You have option to volunteer yourself, or to say I want to do the right thing because I'm doing it for my farm and also for my neighbor. It is voluntary. And if people get to know the information, that is when they get to do their own decision. We have also the rotational leadership, where when people come to the cluster meetings, that is where they get the payment, that is where they get the training, that is where they can develop their best practices, because planting tree is one activity, but we have come to realize, as we talk about tree planting, we have many core benefits, because people develop their own best practices. Other people are saying, let's put up our money in the table. They do the micro financing for themselves with very little percent. So many things have happened when we just talk about tree planting, carbon credit, and the way we use, or the ways we use to train people, is showing them the core benefit and then talking of carbon credit, because it's very small and it has become very effective, because we are doing the conservation of our soil, where we use those conservation agriculture. We are using energy saving stoves, which is helping not to cut trees and also helping our health. Most of our farmers out there have the mud houses. They don't have chimneys, so it is very difficult for them. We have been using to have many women having problem of breathing. Now we are addressing that with those. Every activity we have, it has a conservation benefit and also a personal benefit. Yes.
How does the program improve the air quality?
My name is Mary. For trees to grow, they first of all eat the carbon dioxide, so that can give the oxygen that us members we take. And we know trees take carbon dioxide through the process called photosynthesis, and this one cleans the air so that you can be able to breathe.
So you mentioned earlier about women empowerment, and the website outlines how the programme promotes gender equality. So as well as this, what benefits do you think the project has brought to local communities?
Okay, I can say one of the benefits that the community gets from the women empowerment is having build-up readers from the TIST to go and train about the conservation farming, and also training community about their health, and also training community about their livelihood and how they are going to plant things like planting trees, managing their farms, and all this.
Ecosystems are very complex and rely on many factors. In order to maintain biodiversity and provide enough nutrients to the soil, Do farmers rotate the species of trees planted, or do they plant whatever they want?
Actually, that's a very good question. The farmer make the decision of the trees they want to plant in their own farms, and they also develop the best practices. Right now, there's a tree called eucalyptus species. There are several types of eucalyptus species. Out of doing the trainings within the cluster in the seminar, they've come to identify that's one of the trees that actually do not enhance biodiversity. It's very hard for birds to make nests on that tree of eucalyptus. So by that, the farmers are able to make a deliberate decision that they doesn't want to promote the planting of eucalyptus. But one thing that they've been able to identify using the trainings is that the farmers are able to plant the trees that were indigenous in their ecological zones, because that one have the ability to create biodiversity, and also the issue of where to site the trees, especially the indigenous tree along the river, which is the riparian buffer. They've been able to plant that, and also some of the activities or some of the efforts to mitigate the effects of soil erosion. They've been able to come up with best practices of what not to do along the riverine, so that they can be able to maintain the quality of the water, and also by extension the quantity. So no abstraction, deciding on they doesn't need to do a lot of abstraction of the water, and also the quality of the water is able to come back clean. So by that, the birds have started coming back, and they are also very important for pollination, the bees, so that have been able to come back through biodiversity, and the habitats for animals too, by the tree planting, especially making even some corridors of the migration of some of the animals. Yeah.
Yes, to add on that, the specific trees are supposed to be planted like on the riparian areas for cleaning the water, like the tree we call Zygium guensi. It is if that one is grown near a river, and you taste that water, it has got a very sweet taste. And when there were no trees planted along the river, the riparian, the water was tasting somehow like so taste, something like that. So it is and on the fences, we have to grow. We have come to know how to grow trees which are more beneficial, like the fodder shrubs on the fences or along the lines in the farm, which can be cut for livestock to which are beneficial to them, which has got high amount of protein, and which can prevent soil erosion. Yes, and even can be used as firewood at the same time. Thank you.
Another important point on that is farmers do select trees which can do the agroforestry, because where we are growing trees is where we grow crops, and in Kenya it is very different from here, because whatever we grow, we take from the farm to the kitchen, we eat. So we get the right species which can grow crops together with the trees, and due to those, the most agroforestry trees are very good in either the herbal medicine, the fodder, the timber, and with that, many of our farmers who have joined TIST 2005, somebody could be having one goat, now they can have even 3 or 4 because they have the fodder. Somebody who didn't have even a chicken, most of our farmers now have chicken. Others have pig, others have, because it is like a circle of benefit. When you plant a tree, your crops, then your animals, then those, and many of our farmers now have started putting the beehives, because now they have the plot of their trees have grown big, so they can put in those branches beehives. Like me, I harvested 5 kg of honey from my own farm, from my indigenous beehive, which I was very happy. I ate and I given my neighbors, because after we started getting the information from TIST, we even gotten sense of helping others. Like in my area, I have a small group of old women, some have disability, and they can come to my house every Wednesday in the evening. Then they get to share what they are going through, because in our country, because of the poverty and those kind of things which are coming out because of this climate change, some old women are very vulnerable out there, and when they come together, you get them, they are very happy, they can dance, and then they take a cup of tea and get back. So it is like bringing people. Mary here has adopted 3 children from the street when she started involved in TIST. TIST is developing like a family which cares for everybody, and it is like a circle.
And cutting also in the trees that we identified to plant, the farmers, we as the farmers have been able to plant fruit trees, and actually they've been able to help with the issue of nutrition, to address the issue of balanced diet, especially avocados, which grows across all the parts of Kenya. In some places like my place, we're able to do mangoes, we have lugwats, we have 3 tomato trees, and this different type of and pawpaws. Some may not qualify for the carbon market, but still very useful for the nutrition in the house. Yeah.
And finally, how can you see the project panning out in the future, and what challenges do you think it may face?
For now, me, I can say that the TIST program is expanding well, due to the more the funds will have, will expand, because we have that passion to have TIST with us, because it has changed our livelihoods, and as gender or as women, we have been empowered to be good readers of tomorrow. So we have that passion, and we will get TIST into all the past parts in Kenya. We'll make it expand the more we can. Yeah.
The sustainability of TIST starts from when we do the recruitment of farmers, because they are the ones to make the decisions, they are the ones to do work by their hands, they are the ones to develop the best practices. So the future of TIST is bright because of the ownership of the farmers. It is not up, down, it is down, up. From there, because many people have now started seeing the benefit which are TIST farmers who are already existing are in there, they are wanting to come in, but there is this application process of like 6 months or even 2 years giving people the information. That is the challenge I can see, because it needs a lot of resources to bring people together, to go to a regional seminar, to go to out there to give this information. The only challenge is the resources to reach out to people, because our vision for TIST is we have 47 million population, and 80% of those people, they are like Dorothy, like Mary, because Kenya we have people here who have a lot of money, and like 80% here they are struggling. Even we are trying to go out of our country, because it is like many people now are losing jobs, they are losing even the business. But like us now in TIST, somebody is like independent. I have my corns, I have my beans, I have my cattle, I can have milk. Now, from my thinking, is the challenge is where are we going to get the resources to give the information? But the future of TIST is bright, and I'm looking at it as a big picture, because even the opportunity areas to be reforested is big, and the people owning the program itself is another opportunity. Also, the trainings on technology, using the technology, women being involved in technology. Mary is a quantifier, Patricia is a quantifier. Using the technology is another bit of the strength we have. So those are the two big things I can look at.
Actually, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, the futures, I concur with my colleagues, the future is bright.
Yeah.
We are just only 70,000 in Kenya. We have well over 20 million to go farmers in Kenya. So, and these all farmers need TIST. Right now, we have several requests in several places that people want to join TIST. We've not won as part of the challenge. That's the brighter part of it. But as one of the challenge is that we doesn't have first the resource to go there.
Yeah.
And also, even developing the human system, even to get to those places, is also a big challenge on our part. But still, as we create more leaders and more leaders, I think we'll be able to overcome that challenge. So at least we are moving on that direction. But still, if you're talking of over 1,000 times, then it will become a challenge getting to those people soon. Yeah, because it has to be soon, because this has to be soon. So, but on the technology part also is also one of the brightest thing that we can be able to see. Once we started the TIST, the technology was not all that advanced, so we could be able to go and take the information, take this a palm computer called Zaya by then to a cyber cafe, and then it do the synchronizing, wait for a whole day for it to synchronize. Yeah, then you lose data. I was one of the victims that lost the data because I couldn't be able to manage a backup. Yeah. So but with the technology coming
That's
in,
a problem that happens all over the world.
yeah. So but with the yeah, sure. But the technology coming in, we are able now to catch up with the technology. But still, also we have also to fight the issue of conservatism also in the other side. Yeah, conservatism is also a challenge in some way, especially adoption of some few things that come up. It's very hard to transit also. It also have some issues. Yeah, thank you.
So sadly, we have to bring this conversation to an end, not least because I've got two students here who have to return to their lessons. But I wanted to say on our behalf, the Foundation's behalf, that what you are doing is absolutely extraordinary, because I hope the lesson that you guys take away from this is that what I'm hearing here is courage, bravery, a sense of the will. Because you have the will, you'll find a way, and you are finding a way, and you were very clear about what the hurdles are that need to be overcome, but my goodness, you will overcome them. And your enthusiasm for this initiative is just infectious, and that's why it's spreading in your country. So I think I'd like to thank the students for coming up with the questions this morning, but more to the point, to thank you for being so open and honest and just so authentic about what life is like in Kenya for you, and what you are doing to make your lives, the lives of the people around you and the lives of the next generation better and more sustainable. And I wish you every good fortune, and I thank my colleagues here who have been supporting you while you've been here. You're absolutely amazing, and I know that people listening to this podcast will think exactly the same thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.